However, this next figure would be the first ever downfall of the line. It didn't show earlier, but it really showed in 2016. This figure used to be the worst figure in the line, and it was Godzilla 2014. A very hyped figure that should have been awesome, but instead it was ruined by consistent major QC issues involving the paint. Look at the face, the teeth, and the eyes. This was not only on mine, this was on everyone's. Sculpt is not even accurate because it's stylized. It still looks okay, but I wish it was accurate. Articulation is also not the best, because more often than not it just falls apart, mainly the tail. He also comes with no accessories. There was a beam planned, but it was scrapped. What? This figure was $68 for that price? Hell no! Needless to say, this figure is not very good. No, it's not all bad. There are redeeming qualities, but for a hyped, expensive figure like this should have been great. Looking back at the other figures, it makes you question just what the hell happened. This is what I consider the first major f*** up in the line. While Godzilla 2014 was certainly not the best, on the bright side, the next figure was a hell of a lot better. Was Kiryu, the Jurassic 3 version, or the Tokyo SOS version, if you prefer. The figure, like the first Kiryu, is awesome. It is more expensive than the first release because of reasons I'll go over later. This figure has a brand new sculpt, not a repaint. The sculpt is fantastic once again, and the paint job is awesome too. Articulation is pretty much the same as the original Kiryu. Almost. Again, he goes nicely with the other Millennium figures. He comes with the accessories that he would need. His rocket backpack unit, the rockets themselves are detachable. 2 wrist railguns, his drill hand, and his battle damaged head. Now we can again recreate scenes. So once again, this figure is another fantastic one. The next release is, it's a 2014 repaint. Well, at least this is an exclusive, so you really don't need this. And plus I heard it's trash anyway. And I don't have it anyway, so I'm skipping this one, and I don't plan on getting it for the time being. Before I move on, I should point out a lot of people were desperate to get new sculpts, because the next few figures were literally repaints. The next figure is Gamera. Why am I counting Gamera? Because he is a kaiju after all. I heard he's a pretty solid figure, but I don't have him at the moment. I do plan to get him, I just need the time and money. The next figure after Gamera is Mecha King Ghidorah. This figure once again is fantastic. Great sculpt even though some parts are reused. The paint is also pretty good, except the teeth. Unfortunately, the teeth later would become a consistent issue, so I'm putting a counter right here. Consistent issue number 1. At least the paint is good everywhere else. Articulation is good considering the design, it's just a bit more limited. He also scales nicely again with your Godzilla. His accessories, unfortunately, no beams, but it comes with a machine hand grip parts and the Dorats. The Dorats suck. They are not painted very well at all and are only good for display pieces. Also, another small issue is that his gold is not consistent with the original KGs. It's a minor issue, but it's an issue nonetheless. Some KG is not perfect, but still a great piece. Another issue is that price. Holy hell! Not as expensive as Biollante, but pretty damn close. So depending on your preference, it'll be worth it. So the next figure, it's another repaint. It's a repaint of Godzilla 2000, except it has Kiryu Goji colors. Well, let's see what we got. Well, it's not bad. Sculpt is the same. Paint is still nice, except for the teeth. The gum paint is bleeding on the lower lips. What the f***? Still no accessories, but at least he's priced the same. He goes nice with Kiryu again. And articulation is still kept the same. If you want to stand in for Kiryu Goji, it's fine. But if you really don't care and have the original, you're not really gonna miss out too much. So the next Really? Really? Alright, screw it, let's just take a look. And holy hell, this is much better. The paint is better, articulation is better because nothing falls apart, and what's this? So the eyes are still an issue, eh? Alright, that's definitely going on the counter. This time he comes with a beam, which looks awesome. And an alternate hand with the Muto. Nice. The teeth still suck. And again, it's more expensive. Well, it comes with a lot more, and the translucent spines may have... It's still expensive! If you don't have the original, but want 2014, this is a figure you may want to get, but it depends on your preferences and the price. But the next figure... Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Alright. I promise that won't happen again. Before I move on, I should point out that at this point, S.H.MonsterArts was losing hype. What I mean by that is, the repaints, while good, are very underwhelming. People were dying for new sculpts and were tired of the repaints. Myself included, honestly. So the next repaint is Godzilla 1964 Emergence version. Yes, they thought this scene of the suit was worth having its own figure. And let me tell you, the final product is not as good as the prototype. The paint, while good everywhere else, is lacking on the front of the head and the front of the neck, because there's no dust paint on there. Wow. Sculpt and articulation is pretty much the same. The only thing new that it came with was a beam effect. Wait, what? Why didn't they include this with the original in the first place? Why now? You know why? They most likely did that just to give other people who own the original an excuse to buy the repaint. And honestly, this is the only reason I bought the repaint, because it pissed me off that it came with something the original should have come with. The figure itself isn't bad, but the paint again is kind of lacking. So honestly, the only way I can recommend this is if you don't have the original or really want that beam. Other than that, you're not really missing out. The next fit... Ugh! Another repaint?! Alright, fine, assholes. At this point, I was losing hope in this line. Well as some other people, I know. Because we were seeing no new sculpts, it was just boring, underwhelming repaints. The next repaint was King Ghidorah Special Color version, based on the colors of the poster, which explains the multicolored gravity beams. The figure, while underwhelming, I can't deny that's fantastic. The sculpt is still great, and the paint is great. The teeth for me aren't too bad. The wings are also fixed. Kind of. They use the same joint but are much more secure. The accessories are awesome too. The flight stand is a welcome addition as well as the kid ship. Even though the paint is not the best on it. His gravity beams are good, but... Did they really have to use the same system with the arms? Overall, a great piece and the best Ghidorah in the line. If you don't have the original King Ghidorah, this is one you should definitely get. Alright, after, I kid you not, a whole year of repaints, we finally got a new sculpt announced. It's the GMK Godzilla. Yes! Now this figure looks awesome. After getting the figure, I can't say it's as good as the prototype. The sculpt is great, the paint is not as good as the prototype again, but I still think it's alright. Teeth still suck. The paint on the dorsal plates are fine, but really? For the $83 price, it should have been near perfect with the paint. But they were all like, nope, budget spent, we're done, let's neglect the line for other lines. The figure itself is fine though, and again with no accessories. Get the f*** out of here. That's not fair. Alright, well, he's certainly not the best, but personally, I don't find him bad. The next fig, yes! 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 Godzilla 1954, yes! Oh man, we got the OG design finally coming to the line. This is gonna be... You've gotta be shitting me! How do you mess up the OG? Especially with all the hype it got. Let's see. Good sculpt, checked. Half-ass paint, check. No accessories, me sideways. This figure just feels lazy. No paint on the claws, barely any on the toes. Derp eyes! The figure is not as good as it could have been. Plus, we already got the neck out, so what else does this figure have to offer? Nothing. Just nothing. And that price is an immediate no. Who would pay $78 when there's a much cheaper and better option? Needless to say, this figure is kind of meh. At least to me. Alright, I was still thinking about whether or not I should include this since it's technically still from the line. Even though it's not, it's from the premium line. I figured I'd include him anyway. It's on the new subline, S.H.MonsterArts Ko Kyo Kyoku, which stands for Light, Sound, and Music. The first figure is Biogoji, or Godzilla 1989. The light gimmick is not as bright as the prototypes, unfortunately. The sound and the songs are good though. The paint is once again lacking. No shading, just slapped on paint. I personally don't care for that much, probably because I got it for free, but regardless, the issues I mentioned still suck. Especially, again, for that price. I'll go into more detail in my review. And finally, the most recent figure we got, and by far, the biggest stinker in the S.H.Monsters line, at least in my opinion, The S.H.MonsterArts Shin Godzilla. Or as I like to call it, the S.H.MonsterArts Godzilla. Barely anything good can be said about this figure at all. By this point, everyone lost it. People have been saying this figure sucks, people have been saying this figure is fantastic. Shin here has many reasons why it's considered a controversy. Awful paint, awful QC, no accessories. And I'm not joking, look at that paint! Oh my lord! Oh my god, it looks like garbage! It looks like shit! I should not be allowed to say that a Marvel Legend has a better paint job! The only good thing about this figure is the sculpt and articulation. But even then, the sculpt is inaccurate, and after doing some detailed comparisons, yeah, not accurate. Articulation is the only good thing, but even then, it still looks god-awful no matter how you pose it. I'm not counting the size because all the negatives easily outweigh the positives. And again with the goddamn eyes! Now this is starting to piss me off. Just talking about this figure makes me furious. Especially for that alright, seriously. What the hell is with the sudden price increase? Worst thing is that the figure is a Japanese exclusive. You heard me. No US release. That means you have to pay more. How much did I have to pay? I paid $200. I am dead freaking serious. I was not happy. And I'm still not happy. So yeah, this figure is bad. You want to know something else? It involves Bandai. Why? They knew it was bad! Why? What? You think I'm lying? Well, I got proof right here, buddy. Look at this image with the four main B figures. See, Shin? Look closely at the face. That is indeed a mold line. And look at the eyes. Look at that color. They tried to fix it. Just to make it look good with these. But it doesn't. They knew. They screwed us over! Okay. I could be exaggerating, yes. But my point is, Shin deserved better. After Shin Godzilla, a lot of people, including myself, started to lose hope in this line. For good reasons. We started to expect crappy paint, lack of accessories, or some kind of consistent quality control issue that flat out ruins the whole figure. And after looking at pictures of Ultimate Burning Godzilla, it definitely shows that they're just going to continue the dark path that they're going. These are not issues we should be expecting or worrying about in a high-end collectible line. I don't want to have a constant fear of hoping to God my next Godzilla figure doesn't have dirt eyes. That's freaking stupid. Nah, I should have had to do that, and I know that there's the option that you can customize, paint the figure yourself, but we shouldn't have to do that for, again, a high-end collectible line. That's, again, stupid. Why should we have to do that? That's bull. That's bull. And before you start accusing me of, oh, it's just your opinion, or, oh, the issues aren't that bad, no. A lot of people agree with me. A lot of my friends agree with me. In fact, I got some of them here to share their thoughts about the line, to show that it's not just me. Without further ado, take it away, Kaiju Fanatic 2001.
Hello, Kaiju fans of all kinds. I am now in this video to give my opinion on the current state of the S.H.MonsterArts line. So first of all, I got my 3 S.H.MonsterArts figures I own right there, Gigan Godzilla Jr. and GMK Godzilla. And I got the thing in the S.H.MonsterArts was in the background just because. So, my opinion has always been for S.H.MonsterArts. It's always been a really good line. I mean, a few, especially their older figures. I mean, they had a few figures like Godzilla 64, King Ghidorah had some problems, and the Destroy Evolution set was kind of hated by some people. But, for the most part, their older figures were really good. A little pricey, but, you know, we'll get to that in a minute. Their newer figures, on the other hand, oh boy, we got a ton of repaints. That's quote-unquote issue 1. But for me, the repaints haven't been too much of an issue because they're at least, you know, they're not just... They're giving people another chance who didn't get the chance when it was first released to buy it. Because eventually, the aftermarket, the prices get wicked high. So, it gives people a second chance to buy it for its normal price. Another problem with the current figures, almost no accessories. When you look at Godzilla 2001, came with nothing, for a price mark of $80. Same with Godzilla 64, price mark of $70, came with no accessories. This wouldn't be much of a problem, but it seems like S.H.MonsterArts is definitely asking for a lot more nowadays than it used to be. I mean, yeah, the older figures were pricey, but they came with usually a lot of accessories. Like, look at Mechagodzilla 2. He came with his Mega Buster, some other crap I don't remember, Fire Rodan. He came with his beam, flight stand, little Mechagodzilla head, and even the Spiral Beam to complete Burning Godzilla. So, nowadays, when you look at Shin Godzilla, he comes with nothing. GMK Godzilla, nothing. 54, nothing. Messed up there. Godzilla 2014, nothing, even though they did eventually release a Fire Breath edition. I mean, there's been a few figures coming out with some accessories like Mecha King Ghidorah, but they've really been lacking. Another problem with S.H. Monsters nowadays, especially when it comes to the Shin Godzilla, is detail. It's not as good as it used to be. And also, they're asking for a lot higher prices nowadays. When you look at the Shin Godzilla, it's definitely one of the more flawed figures. And then if we go to figures, upcoming releases, we have three repaints with Burning Godzilla, Super Mecha Godzilla, which I'm actually looking forward to that one, and Destroya. Then we get the Evangelion Godzilla, which I don't know who's going to buy that, but if you like Evangelion Godzilla, there you go. And then we have the 2 Shin Godzilla forms, Kamada-kun and whatever the hell they call Form B. Form B and Kamada-kun look pretty bad, I'm not going to lie. They don't look terrible, but I don't know, I'll just have to wait to see more pictures, because right now they really don't have too many released. But so far, I think the Shin Godzilla is one of the worst figures so far. Especially for its price tag of about $115, I think. Now, it doesn't sound too bad, but some people have paid $200 for it, which, for that figure, is not at all worth $200. Anyways, in conclusion, I really just hope S.H.MonsterArts picks up their act in 2017. We're getting the poster edition for Mechagodzilla 2 or 93, whatever you want to call it. That looks really cool. We're also getting Mechagodzilla 74 or 75, so finally we're getting more Showa monsters. I mean, we've barely gotten any from Monster Arts other than 64 Godzilla and 54 Godzilla. But yeah, share this video to help it get out. Maybe S.H. Monster Arts will listen, pick up their act for 2017. I also forgot to mention, a lot of the paint jobs on the newer figures are very lackluster compared to the old ones. Looking at you, Shin Godzilla.
What? You're still not convinced? Well, here's Godzilla Gamer 77's thoughts.
Hey, it's Godzilla Gamer 77, and I want to give my thoughts on why S.H. MonsterArts is going downhill, and I think they're not as good as they used to be. Now, I think the biggest problem when it comes to S.H. MonsterArts nowadays is the price. The price for some of these figures are absolutely insane. The new S.H. MonsterArts Shin Godzilla, $140 for a figure that isn't even that great. Like, the paint job is really sloppy, and it doesn't even look that great. Heck, even the sculpt sometimes doesn't even look that great. And it doesn't even come with any accessories. So why would you have it a $140 figure if it's just no accessories or anything? I mean, granted, the size is big, but what does that have to do with anything when the price is so high? And for most S.H. MonsterArts figures, they're pricing these figures so high, and they don't even have accessories or anything. And another big problem with S.H. MonsterArts nowadays are the repaints. Some of these repaints are so unnecessary. Like the 2000 figure. Why is there that much of a difference? All it is the spines and maybe a little bit of the paint. And you're going to price him for at least $90? And the 64 figure, same thing. He does come with an accessory, but that's about it. The Spitfire version, what would you ever use him for? Like, seriously, Monster Arts is not going in a good direction when it comes to prices and their figures. They're not putting enough effort in them. They're sticking on repaints, and they're overpricing these figures. And I just don't think this is not the way they should be going. There might come in the X plus prices soon. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And so, yeah, those are my thoughts on why I think S.H. MonsterArts is going in a direction where they shouldn't be going.
And there you go. Ever since Godzilla 2014, quality has just been gradually getting lower with the figures. At least with the Destroyer Evolution set, despite the price, the quality was at least still kept in check. Like I said, after 2014, the quality just got lower and lower as time went on. We didn't notice it at first because 2014, we just thought it was one of those few duds, but nope. When we noticed the consistent issues with the teeth and the eyes, and when Shin came out in this line, it's been going down the drain. There's lack of quality control, and it's not good, and it's not anything we should expect from a high-end collectible. This is something we should expect from a cheap toy line like Marvel Legends. It's weird because all of a sudden we got such excellent figures like these. We went from these to these. These to these. See what I mean? What's really not fair is the fact we're ending up having to pay more for these half-assed figures. Prices keep going higher and higher, and quality is going lower and lower. When I say we or they, I mean the Godzilla fans who only collect from S.H.MonsterArts and don't really care about the other lines from Tamashii and Bandai. Obviously, that's not the case for me, but you get the idea. You could argue they're doing the same for the other lines, but that's not true. If you look at the most recent SH Figuarts figures from the Marvel and Dragon Ball Z lines, it begs the question, are they purposely neglecting the SH Monsters line for the other lines? These figures turn out superb, so that's a possibility. In fact, if that was the case, it's not fair to the people who only collect from SH MonsterArts, when their line is getting shitted on the others aren't. My point is, if you're gonna have multiple figure lines, you should actually put the same amount of effort into all the lines instead of all of them except for one. I understand the SH Monsters line is not in much demand as the other lines, but what makes the line so irrelevant that they think it's not worth the effort? However, this crazy theory I just came up with, we don't even know if it's true or not.
Hey guys, it's Killswitch here, and as an honor to be on one of Vinny's videos, he said I can come along, so I was able to find my mic plug, and I decided I was going to use my mic for the video, since I know this is a very important topic in the community of collectors. So, Vinny said I have a really short time I'm allowed to speak, so, yeah, I better hurry up and begin. So originally I was going to talk about the S.H. MonsterArts Gamera line that we were promised, that we never got, and a lot of you guys probably don't remember how they promised that line because they never got it to us. But instead I'm going to talk about this. Vinny showed me this the other night, and when a user on Toho Kingdom asked what it is, since the line began, well, have you seen what they can do? And like Space Guy, they said, haven't they fixed it? Why? And here's the response: because in an effort to save some coin and product costs, a change in factories for SH Monsters happened. This happened a while back when Alien and Predator figures were created by Tamashii, and it hasn't changed since. So I just want to go over this real quick. So basically, this is a quick description of how the company works. This is how the business standpoint works. Some of you guys don't get that, but I'm just going to break this down as quick as I can. So to the company, they think they can save more money by making better quality figures, and are still going to get a buck off it. So they are screwing us over in the end by making these more, half, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss in this, so half whatever figures, and maybe not putting enough effort or paint or something into them, just like with the S.H. MonsterArts Shin Godzilla came out, which mine's fine, but stuff like that. A lot of new figures coming out, maybe they lack paint or something with their articulation or something, and this is due to the fact that they've now learned the business way of making, they can make more money by spending less money on the products, and they'll still get a buck out of it, because there's people that will always buy their products. Just like with the Transformers movie, we always complain about it, but we still go see them. And people don't get the only way that you'll be able to get a company like S.H. MonsterArts to listen is if you want their figures to change, quit complaining about it and quit buying them. If you complain about it and you quit buying them, it's not going to change anything, because you're still putting money in their pocket. So I'm just going to say that now, and yeah, that's just my quick little part.
Thanks for joining Killswitch, but I should correct you on something that you kind of said wrong after doing a little bit of research. You see, if we stop buying the SH Monsters figures, that's telling Tamashii Nations that the line is dead, so to give it the X. Damn it, really? Oh, we can't win! Shin suffered the most just because it was an overhyped figure. The fact that Shin sold like hotcakes does not even help either. Why? Because in Tamashii's minds, that's pretty much telling them that that we don't care if the figures are half-assed. And that pretty much means that they're never going to change. Oh my god, I gotta hold it back. I gotta hold it back. It's making me sweat. Damn you, Tamashii, you f***ing
Hello everybody, Ryan Zaton here, and welcome to Vinny's video. And today I'm going to be talking about some of the S.H. MonsterArts problems that's been going on for the past few months now. Now, I'm not really a MonsterArts collector, I only have one, and that is the MonsterArts Fire Rodan. I'm more of a Bandai vinyl collector myself. But the line, when it began in 2011 with Godzilla 94, yeah, it had its share of problems, but it was still pretty good for what it was. I mean, it was actually, yeah, it was really good. And it was the start of a good line, because we got better at MonsterArts, such as the Mechagodzilla, the Rodan, the Mothra, the Batra larva. We got all these great figures. And then 2015, until 2015, around then, we got Mecha King Ghidorah, which was pretty cool. But then it started to go a bit downhill because we started getting first of all, we started getting tons of repaints. The 2000 special color version was I think that was the one that started it all. And then the 1964 emergence version, then King Ghidorah special color version, and then we got GMK in 54, and from what I've heard, those aren't exactly stellar figures to many people. I've heard many people actually don't really care for it. For both of them, I don't have them, so I can't say. But from what I've heard, they're not exactly the best. They're good, but not exactly like super top accuracy. Well, I mean, they're pretty accurate, but in like super top like quality that people really want. And then I've heard many things about the S.H.MonsterArts Shin Godzilla, where it had piss poor paint job, and it was falling apart on people, but everything else about it was okay. But the biggest problem was the piss poor paint job, where it was all red. Well, kind of. And it's kind of like, I feel like Tamashii is getting really lazy with this line. I feel like it's going to become just like the Ultra Act line, where it started out good, and then it just went to multiple Ultramen and just went down. Now it's going to be like S.H.MonsterArts, so instead of just doing all Godzillas, they're just going to do terrible like paint job figures. Something that Ultra Act actually didn't do. They actually had very good figures, but from what I've heard from Monster Art, they're really poor figures. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. I don't really have that much to say because I'm like I said, I'm not a Monster Arts collector myself, but this is from what I've been hearing from people. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Ryan's a ton. I'll see you all on my channel.
Okay, I gotta calm down. I am so sorry about that, folks. Anyway, do you get what we're saying? It's not even fair, again, to the SH Monsters collectors that only collect from SH MonsterArts. It's also not fair to people that collect SH MonsterArts but also their other lines. And if that's the case, then that's pretty questionable, because they're probably questioning why the hell is this line getting shitted on while the other ones aren't. Well, just like I said before. And you want to know something? I know this is only a very minor issue, but sometimes web exclusives can be an issue. Why? Well, it affects the cost. Listen to what BioGoji89 has to say.
It almost seems as if with all these paint app issues and overpriced figures in the Monster Arts line, it's as if Tamashii thinks that with that line they can put out whatever they want and at whatever cost they want, as long as the figure they're putting out has a really nice sculpt, or at the very least an above average sculpt, articulation, you need more than 10 fingers to count, and a paint app that just kind of follows the guidelines of the prototype and just kind of lets the paint seep wherever it wants to. Because if you look at a figure like Shin Godzilla, $120, that's asking quite a bit for that figure, and then these people who, again, it's pretty hard to get this figure, you get these people all excited to get the figure, you get it, and within a half hour you have paint rubs that go all the way through to the base plastic of the figure. And the sad thing is, it only seems like you get these kind of issues with Monster Arts, because if you look at other Tamashii lines, like say SH Figuarts, I have 2 recent releases, you don't get issues like that. The Figuarts I have, I only have 2, but they're from this year, a couple months ago, not that old releases. Same deal as Monster Arts, really nice sculpt, really good articulation. What's the difference? The paint apps follow the prototype, and they're really good, no slop, and they're not ass tons of money. Now I get that a Godzilla figure, a big bulky Godzilla figure, is going to cost more to make when you put in all this articulation and engineering than, say, just some humanoid dude. But still, it shouldn't cost $80 compared to, what, $60 for Figuarts? I mean, if you look at other figures, like in the Monster Arts line, now we're going to kind of go on to another topic about this that really pisses me off. Web exclusives. A web exclusive is basically that in Japan, you can only get a web exclusive figure on the Tamashii website, their web Shoten Fuck You of Doom, whatever it's called. With that, in Japan, because you can get Monster Arts in stores there. And for some reason, with Monster Arts web exclusives only, Tamashii feels the need to put an $80 price tag on some of them. Or, really what I should say is they feel the need to slap $20 extra onto the figure for no reason at all, except for the fact that it's a web exclusive. And if you compare, like, say, GMK, web exclusive figure, compare that to, say, I don't know, Godzilla 95 Rebirth version, how much did that figure cost when it came out? Like $60, $70? Around that price? That figure had accessories? Alright, yeah, it's good. Compare that to GMK, it's a slightly bigger figure and it comes with nothing. And it costs $80. Why? Because there's a fancy gold logo on the box and there's no window. And another thing I want to bring up, when your line has the same paint app issue with the eyes that your very first figure had 4 years ago, and it still has that issue today, you really gotta work out some quality control issues.
Well, I'd be lying if I said there wasn't any hope. The S.H.MonsterArts Special Color Version Destroyer has been held back with other figures, so there's still hope. But that hope can easily be forgotten once you realize S.H.MonsterArts is coming from Bandai and Tamashii nations, knowing that somehow they'll screw them up. Somehow. Just somehow, no matter what the figure is. I can see it now. Yes, the S.H.MonsterArts Special Color Version Destroyer, they're gonna give him pupils. Yeah, just so they can dirt the eyes. Sloppily apply their paint all over the chest because no effort is needed. Or mold him one color, just so that he can have a bunch of other colors that he doesn't need, and sloppily apply them all over the place. And also sloppy teeth. Super Mecha Godzilla, they're gonna give him pupils too, just so they can dirt them. And put gray all over him instead of the nice chrome, because all effort must not go into the S.H.MonsterArts line, says the Tamashii staff. The Evangelion Godzilla have fuzzy line work and dirt eyes just so they can be dirt, because they must be dirt. And then sloppy teeth. The Shin Godzilla 4A and B figures are gonna have more paint than they actually need. Sloppy teeth, dirt eyes, the tail falls apart, and red and brown paint slop all over them. That'll do it. Those are good figures to release. They don't care. They'll buy the figures anyway. Assholes. Okay. I am so sorry that this ending of the video just turned into a rant, but honestly, that is honest to God how I feel about the line. I used to love S.H.MonsterArts, but now, I can't. Honest to God, I can't. If this is the best that I can do now compared to how they used to do it in 2013, I'm truly disappointed. I'm heartbroken. I truly am. And you know, after looking at Ultimate Burning Godzilla, and after Shin especially, I can't be excited. For real, like, these new releases, I can't be excited for them anymore. In fact, I'm not excited for any of them. I'm not excited for the new prototypes being teased. I'm not excited for anything from the line. Why? Because of the fears that I have that we shouldn't have with a high-end collectible line. I don't want to have a constant fear of hoping to God my figure is not sloppily painted or anything else, like falling apart or shit like that. You get what I mean? Again, I do not, honest to God, I do not see a good future with S.H.MonsterArts if they continue this route. I honestly do not. They're going downhill, and I promise you, they're probably going to continue to do this. Not unless if a miracle happens and something changes with the line. With that being said, well, first of all, I should say this. If you guys still like the figures I trashed on, that is perfectly okay. Don't let my harsh words change your opinion on the figures that you love. You're entitled to your own opinion, and I absolutely respect it. Anyway, with that being said, I am Super Mario Zilla, and I am out. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment your thoughts down below if you agree or disagree, or just want to share your personal thoughts on one as well. Excuse me. Well, or if you want to, and I know I don't say this, like, ever, but if you really want to, make a response video. I'm actually interested in seeing stuff like that. No, not that I'm interested, it's just that, you know, feel free to make a response video if you truly want to, if you agree or disagree, or if you feel like a comment is not enough. With that being said, I am out. And stay tuned for part 2 of this video, which is going to be a live stream discussing the possible future. Anyway, I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out.